Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Presenting that Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost knowledge. Knowledge is of unlimited varieties. There is no end. Even if you see in science, there are so many divisions. Even one person, he may spend his whole life just studying the mating habits of catfish or some ridiculous thing. You can study. Anything you study, you can take it very, very deeply. But what is the topmost knowledge? The topmost knowledge, that is that which teaches us to distinguish between matter and spirit for the sake of becoming released from this material life. Because material life means punarapi jananam, punarapi gavanam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. You know what this means? What does it mean? Again and again being born, again and again dying, again and again lying in the womb of one's mother. So this is not a very good situation. Modern education means to teach us to be foolish. Education means how to become wise, how to understand what is the real purpose of life. And modern education makes us foolish because it makes us only interested in this life, how to get a strong body, how to get money. So this is not actual knowledge. That is called Jara Vidya, knowledge of this material life. That is not actually helpful to us. Jara Vidya, Bhakti-Rao Thakur, our Acharya, has sung one nice song. Jara Vidya Jato Mayar Bhaibhav Tomar Bhajane Badha Mohajanamiya Anitya Samsare Jivke Kare Gadha. This means, Jara Vidya, this is an exhibition of Maya or illusion. Because it teaches us to be very interested in this body. But the body is temporary. The body will not last. Jara Vidya Ajato Maya Bhav, it is Tomar Bhajane Badha. It is an obstacle in our actual progressive life of understanding God and worshipping Him. Because we think, oh, now I have science, I don't need to understand God. Which is nonsense, because science, however much science you have, at the time of death it won't help us. Please, the flowers, this is prasad also. There are many things to learn. This is knowledge. Flowers we offer to Krishna's feet, then we put on our head, not at our feet. These things you have to learn. So, Jara Vidya Jata Maya Bhaiva. This is simply an exhibition of illusion. That we are thinking, oh, I don't need, science will save me. Science will not save you. At the time of death, you may be in a big expensive hospital with tubes coming out of your body and something connected to your heart. And have you seen in the hospital they have, it's electrically connected and the heartbeat is going boom. You can see on the screen. And then sometime it stops and then they disconnect. And so very scientifically he died. By science I am done. Very nice, but science can't protect you from death. They have analyzed that my blood pressure is increasing, and temperature is going up, and so many water level, pH level of the water. And now we come to the conclusion, my dear sir, you have spent 50,000 rupees for 2 weeks in hospital, and now you are dead. And your relatives can give the bill. They can pay the bill. So this is simply an illusion. Science will help us. It doesn't help. In a limited extent it may help. Even that is questionable. Just like we say now we've made so much progress in science, but there's so much pollution. There's so many new problems. Just like they solved now no more tuberculosis or smallpox. And now we have AIDS, cancer, so many different diseases. So everyone is acting under the laws of nature. Jara Prakriti, Maya. Everyone is under the control of Maya. You cannot escape by making experiments. So this Jara Vidya, it is simply an exhibition of the illusory potency of Lord Krishna called Maya. Jara Vidya Jata Maya Bhaiva Tomar Bhajane Bandha. We become illusioned by this. We think, oh, so many wonderful things. You see, the scientists are making a Maruti car, then we don't need God. What nonsense. You have a Maruti car, and will that save you from death? Or they have so many new theories, now they're importing into India, that, free sex, you should just enjoy. Then you get AIDS, you can benefit. Then you'll be miserable because you'll have no family life. You get, anyway, girl gets married, she's already been used by so many men. This is all coming in India now. College girls. They're reading Shobha Dev, how you should have sex as much as possible. So, no one will marry them. If anyone marries them, they have the habit already, they'll be running to so many different men. Then they'll be divorced 2 times, 3 times. Then when they're 50 years old, then they can't have sex anymore. They're finished. They may try, no one will be interested in them. And they're simply miserable. I know, because my sister is a good example. She was in the hippie age, 1960s. She never got married. She had more boyfriends than meals. But now she's miserable. She's 45 years old, no husband, no children, no one looks at her anymore because she's 45 and so wrinkles on her face, and even though she's educated, but she has to clean the floor of someone to get some money to eat. So this is wrong propaganda, that by this free sex you'll be happy. You'll not be happy. If you would be happy by free sex, then the dogs, they should be happy, because they're having free sex, but they're not happy. So this is simply a display, increasing the illusion. Mahajanamya anitya samsare jeev ke khare gadha. In this material world, we're already in illusion, and this miseducation increases our illusion and makes us what? Gadha, like a big ass. Why like an ass? There are different reasons. One reason is that an ass carries big heavy weights which are of no value to him whatsoever. The ass, he's carrying big stones. Is it any benefit to the ass? No. So same way we carry all this knowledge in our head, so-called knowledge, which is of no benefit to us. Another thing is that the ass is a very proud animal, even though an ass is an ass. If you want to insult someone, you say, you ass. So an ass is an ass, but he's very proud. And he talks very loudly. As if he's speaking, he makes a big noise, the whole village can hear. As if, now I am speaking. I am the ass. Now I am speaking. But what is it? It's simply a disturbance. So similarly, people who think they know something and they're very proud, they simply make a big noise like an ass and disturb. And what does the ass go? Have you heard how the ass? First loud and then slowly slow. So like that, they make a big noise, and all of a sudden, Yamaraj comes and says, you come with me, and they become quiet. Then they're taken away. In time of death, all your big talk, that won't help you. Therefore, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Burha Mate, Samprapte Samihite Kale, Nahi Rakshati Dukran Karane. Shankaracharya, he said, just worship Govinda, you fool. Buddha also means Gadha, same thing. At the time of death, your manipulation of words will not help you. So therefore, we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam. We're not studying India today. We're not studying Shobha Dev. We're not studying Karl Marx. We're not studying Freud. We're not studying Congress Manifesto. We are studying Srimad Bhagavatam. This is real knowledge. But foolish people, they think, this is for useless people. No, this is actual knowledge. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we have knowledge. Who are we? The first point of knowledge people don't know. If we ask, who are you? They say, my name is such and such. I'm Indian. This is my wife. No, that's not you. That's only in relation to the body. But you are not the body. This body will die. Then you will give next life, I am such and such dog. I live in this house. And then next life, I am such and such cat. We are thinking in terms of the body. This is not knowledge, this is ignorance. So first thing, actually Bhagavad-gita we study before Srimad Bhagavatam. First thing Krishna teaches Arjuna. Ashochanan vashochatvang pragyavadang chabhashase katasun agatasun cha nanusochanti panditaha. He says that Krishna tells Arjuna, you are lamenting for the sake of this body. You think you are very learned, just like people think they are very learned, they are very moralistic. But they don't know the most basic point of knowledge, that we are not this body. So Srimad Bhagavatam teaches who we are, who is God, what is our relationship with Him. How to develop that relationship by the process of devotional service, bhakti, and how to go to the spiritual world, never to have to be reborn, never to have to suffer again, birth and death. This is invaluable knowledge. This is the purpose of human life. Not that when we get this valuable human body, we imitate the donkeys or the monkeys. Donkey means those who have less money, they have to work like an ass. And those who have more money, they act like a monkey, simply jumping here and there, no responsibility. So, Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us how to live properly as a human being. Human being means he has more intelligence than the animals. He should use it not to live as a two-legged animal, but to think what is the purpose of life, who is God, what is my relationship with Him, how to understand Him. This is all described in Srimad Bhagavatam. But people deliberately misunderstand. Oh, they say, Srimad Bhagavatam, oh, that means Krishna dancing with the gopis. Immoral. They don't take the care to study Srimad Bhagavatam under a bona fide guru and see what is the actual subject matter. That this is described elaborately in 9 cantos. What is the position of Krishna? How he is creating, maintaining and destroying not only one but millions of universes. How he is simply God. Oh, Krishna. What is the meaning of God? People don't know. They take, you see here in Karnataka, some ugly guy with fuzzy hair who does some magic tricks, and people call God. That means they don't know what is God, because he's a cheater. He's not God. God means who is maintaining, creating, destroying millions of universes by his power. And someone does a few magic tricks, and people are so foolish, they take God. They don't know what is the meaning of God. They shouldn't talk about God unless they know what is the meaning. Just like someone shouldn't speak about nuclear physics unless he knows what is the subject. Why should he speak? He doesn't know. It's a very deep subject. One should not speak unless he knows. So subject of God, that is the deepest subject. People in the modern age, they're very proud if they have science, a degree in science, because science is a very complex subject. But God means who has made the laws of science. Science means simply to study nature. Simply to study nature and the laws by which nature works. So that is very complex, but who has made the laws of nature? Who has set up this nature? That is God. So to understand God is more deep than understanding the laws of nature. But people think, oh, whatever you like you can think. And mostly all wrong ideas are being propagated in society. Just like this idea, Krishna is immoral. That means they haven't studied Srimad Bhagavatam. This is all explained very scientifically. That Krishna is dealing with the gopis. That is not like mundane lust. That is not Shobhade rubbish. That this is the exchange of love on the totally spiritual platform. The gopis are the topmost devotees of Krishna, expressing their selfless love for Krishna. It is like the difference between iron and gold. Superficially, they have similar characteristics, but gold is much superior to iron. So in the same way, Krishna is dancing with the gopis, and in the cinema, this Rajnikant in Tamil Nadu or Amitabh Bachchan, he's already finished. They're dancing with some prostitutes on the cinema screen. That is a different thing. Too, Krishna is dancing with the gopis. It may appear superficially to be the same, but one is like gold and the other is like iron. rusty iron, useless. That is a perverted reflection of the real thing in the spiritual world. So this is a grave subject. But people misrepresent, for business reasons. Someone represents, he is a great speaker of Bhagavatam, and people go simply for entertainment. No one wants, who is going, even those who call themselves religious, who is serious? Mostly they go to listen to some speech, religious speech, only as a kind of entertainment. But no one is interested in perfecting their life. To perfect your life means one has to be serious. One has to take up the process of spiritual life very seriously. It's a great training. How one is to be free from the three modes of material nature, sattva, rajas, tamas. How to be free from these modes of material nature and understand Krishna requires great training. Training means may be difficult. Because we have so many wrong ideas and we are so puffed up. We think we know what I know. I don't need training. But to understand, one has to be trained. Tasmad gurung prapadyeta jigyasu shreya uttamam. One, to understand this science, one has to tasmad gurung prapadyeta. One has to surrender to a guru and inquire about jigyasu shreya uttamam. One should inquire about one's topmost benefit. Not that one should go to a guru, oh, do you have any cure for my backache? Or give me your blessing so my business will prosper. And you don't need a guru. If you want a blessing for your business to prosper, go and see Bill. He's a good businessman. You take some money from him. God is not meant that you'll simply go to a guru who's meant for giving you spiritual knowledge. Give me some money. Give me a blessing. It's not the proper process. Tad vijnanartham sagurum nevadiyat. Check. To understand this science, this spiritual knowledge is a science. It's not all whimsical, simply smiling, holding a flower. It is a science. Means the points are to be understood point by point. What is the meaning of the word God? What is the meaning of the word Guru? What is the meaning of liberation? It's not simply an imagination. So it is to be understood point by point under training. Training means one has to submit. People don't want to do. If people come and ask, how will we be Krishna conscious? We will tell them, in the beginning you chant Hare Krishna. And what else is there? No tea, no coffee, no pan, no biri, no cigarette. And they'll say, Swamiji, you're so wonderful. Please, you chant Hare Krishna and I'm going home. I'll come when I need some ashirvad. That's all. But these things, no drinking tea, no, everything you have to take. If you want to understand Krishna, you have to be serious. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll see, this is presented point by point, verse by verse, with explanation. This is supposed to be heard and understood. This is not one book. This series is printed in 30 volumes, just so we can begin to understand what is the science of God. So this should be taken up very seriously by those who are serious to perfect their human life. If you want to live like an ass or a monkey, then you don't need Srimad Bhagavatam. Then you can just go on with it. If you just watch the TV, American TV is here now, you can learn how to be a monkey in the human form, with an American accent. You can learn. You see the kids, college kids, they all speak in American accents because they watch the TV. And they become American. They think, as if it's such a great thing to become an American. And you become an American, and if you so much want to be an American, the next life you can take birth in America, as a cat or a dog in America. That is what you want. Krishna will allow. But if you want to be elevated, who is speaking Bhagavatam? Vyasadeva. You take all the PhDs, Nobel Prize winners, put them on one side. And one word from Vyasadeva, you put on the other side. It's more, million times more valuable. Because all they're speaking is all simply a product of their ahankara and ignorance. And Vyasadeva, what he has given, especially in this Srimad Bhagavatam, this is actual knowledge. So, those who are intelligent, those who are actually intelligent, they should take up studying Srimad Bhagavatam, not wasting their lives. Hare Krishna. I'm going to finish early today for various reasons, one of which is that I haven't chanted many rounds. Plus the devotees have to go out for some kirtan. Alright, is there any question? What was the class about? Can you remember any of the points? Why are you scratching here? You got an itch? Can you remember anything that was said in the class?
Can I ask one question? Some persons are there, they all work, they're doing like that. One person is a child.
Yeah.
So, are considering as God?
Yes,
And
foolish,
why
very foolish people.
Knowledge people and scholars are accepting why?
They are called Kupandit. They are not actually scholars. They are not scholars of the science of God. God, what is the definition of God? It's not just whatever you think. The word God, the word is Bhagavan. Bhagavan means he has 6 bhagas. Bhaga means opulences. Aishvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashasriya jnana vairagya yoschaiva shannam bhaga itingena. This is definition from Vishnu Purana of the meaning of the word Bhagavan. Means one who has got all wealth, all power, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge and all renunciation. Full. All wealth means everything in the universe belongs to him. All beauty. Then immediately Sai Baba is disqualified. If you see Krishna, so beautiful, and Sai Baba is actually one of the most ugly people. And why is he ugly? Because he is sinful. When one becomes sinful, then his bodily features become extremely ugly. So he's not all wealthy, he's not all knowledgeable, he can't even speak any language except Kannada, isn't it? He speaks a little English, is it? No, I heard he couldn't speak. Anyway, he speaks English.
And he speaks very well. He speaks nice English.
Is it? I heard he couldn't speak.
Very
Nice lecture?
Speaking English.
He does speak. I heard he didn't speak. But anyway, he doesn't know all the languages. Does he know every language in the world? Krishna?
And English.
He doesn't know all the languages. Does he know everything about what's going on in the heart of every living being? Is he present everywhere? Is he in everyone's heart? No, it's a big bluff. It's just a big bluff. So-called, that's described in Bhagavad-gita. There are 4 kinds, Krishna says, there are 4 kinds of sinful people who never surrender to Krishna. One of them is called Maya Aparita Jnana. It means someone who has got worldly knowledge, but whose spiritual knowledge is covered by illusion. He is superficially intelligent, but spiritually foolish. There are many such people. It's the most obvious thing that this person is not the controller of all the universes. Why someone came to kill him, he ran away, locked the door and rang the alarm bell. What kind of God is that? People are so foolish they accept him as God. People who are foolish, they accept him as God. Just like you say, the Prime Minister is going to see him to inaugurate his water. God doesn't open water drinking projects. God sends rain from the sky. In the presence of God, there's no shortage of water. When Krishna personally comes, automatically all auspiciousness comes and rain comes from the sky sufficient. Not that he has to inaugurate some water project. This is nonsense. Another thing, Krishna comes, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashayata dushkritam. He destroys all these sinful people. But India is full of all cheats and liars and rogues. What is he doing to destroy? Who? He'll come, he comes from time to time. Next time he's coming is Kalki Avatar. After 427,000 years.
After?
Yes. by the influence of Kali Yuga, so many people are allowed to call themselves God. This Prime Minister, if he was a real Prime Minister, you'd have this Sai Baba arrested for fraud. Because he's calling himself God. He's most sinful. People are eating cows, they're not as sinful as he, because he's calling himself God. He's the most sinful thing.
What is that? After 4,000, how many?
427,000.
Now the position.
Now is the time, the Yuga Dharma, which has been inaugurated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. That is going on. The chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yagyai Sankirtana Paraya Janti Hi Sumedasa. Those who are actually intelligent in this Kali Yuga, they will join the Sankirtan movement. Those who are actually intelligent, they join this Sankirtan movement. Chant Hare Krishna. And why Sai Baba? There are more than 300 people calling themselves God in India at the present time. Only he's the most prominent. You'll find there's 300. There's a rash of bogus Bhagavans, plastic Bhagavans. Plastic means they're only imitation. Not real. Very sinful people. Very sinful.
But they're not misguiding the people.
They certainly are misguiding. Definitely. If you call yourself God and you're not, that's called a con man. Confidence trickster. Someone.
Some says, Sai Baba, he directs the people to the right way.
How is it the right way?
At least he is doing that much, that's enough.
How is it the right way?
It means to worship and to.
But they worship him as God, so that's nonsense.
Yeah, that's the wrong thing.
That's completely wrong.
That's the wrong thing.
That's completely wrong.
That's true. What you are doing now is not a God.
Not God. Not
Might
God.
be a form of God.
No, he is not.
They're all.
In one sense, everyone is not different from God, but we are not God. That is another gross misunderstanding.
God means
the worshipable object of everybody is Krishna. He is God.
Yeah, only one.
We are part and parcel of God, but we are not worshipable as God is. We are meant to worship God. We are not meant to be worshipped. Now you may say people who follow Sai Baba, they become vegetarian, they may do things like this. They may do. Although in Bengal, his followers, they go on eating fish, because they're accustomed to that, mostly. So, but anyway, the goal of life is not to be a vegetarian. The monkeys are also vegetarian. That is not a high religious principle, that one is a vegetarian. If he's a vegetarian, but he's offensive to God by ignoring the actual God and worshipping this Sai Baba instead, then he is more sinful than someone who eats meat, because he's so offensive. And that's what I've seen people, they come from traditional Sri Vaishnava families, very common. For generations their family has been worshipping Sri Ranganatha Swami, Tirupati Balaji. Now they just keep those pictures on the side and big picture Sai Baba. And instead of saying Venkatesh Suprabhatam, they've changed it to Sai Baba Suprabhatam. Is this not rascaldom? That he's diverting people away from the proper worship which has been in their family for generations and saying, you worship me.
And what about Swamiji's worshipping Lord Krishna or Swamishwar? Some Swamijis are there, Mata, Udupi or...
Yeah, they are worshipping Krishna in the proper way.
Yeah, Udupi, and some not Indian.
As is stated in this verse's purport, one has to follow the transcendental disciplic succession to understand. So there is proper parampara, proper sampradaya. One should follow that properly, then you will be benefited. If you simply imagine something, in Kali Yuga people imagine something to be religion, it's all bogus. Mostly 99% it's all bogus.
Yeah, definitely we are speaking actually. In practical, the common people are...
And simply even if you...
They don't know what to do. Who is God? How to...
They are misguided. There are so many cheaters. So many cheaters.
100 years, they don't have what to do.
There are so many cheaters.
And the thing is that what material life, that education is called.
The education is worse.
What you have explained in the beginning, that was, is that. No.
The education is making people into asuras.
Asuras, right, you're right.
By nature, most of the people, not all, but by nature people in India tend to have the Daiva Sampatti, the Daiva Swabhava. But modern life is making them all into asuras. It's spoiling their good propensity.
Yeah, we have to do something. Otherwise, what will happen? The asuras will be more, and
we have to do something.
That Satvika,
so, in your case, first thing you should understand properly what is this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Because unless one understands properly, he can't help others. So first you understand properly, then you should help to propagate this by propagating the chanting of Hare Krishna and the spiritual knowledge given in these books. Definitely we have to. It's a very bad situation. So you please come here regularly and hear and learn. Study these things. Of course, many people, if they hear, if we tell them you have to learn, then again they know, why should I learn? I already know so many things. But actually you have to learn. If you're to understand, you have to learn. And one has to become humble enough to accept that I don't know, I have to learn. Then he can begin to learn. If one thinks, I already know so many things, I'm from a Hindu family, then you can't begin to learn. Even being in a Hindu family means you may have some piety. Although many Hindu families, there's nothing. If you go to Delhi, Bombay, you'll find Hindu means only their name is not a Muslim name. Otherwise they have no puja, no picture of God in the house, no book, nothing. The children grow up with absolutely no religious culture. If you go Delhi, Bombay, all these, you'll find many. There's not even one trace of anything religious in their home. Nothing. So being born in
it was there actually,
that was there. That was there. Now if you say, simply to be born in a Hindu family, even if you know something, mostly you've heard it all wrong anyway. Mostly just like in the home, you'll hear so many wrong ideas. People are confused. What is the actual fact, they don't know. So, one has to be humble enough to learn. Then he can make progress. If you think I already know, then you can't make any progress. Just like I'll tell you one thing. Vienna in Austria, that is famous in Europe for learning classical music, Western style, especially piano. So if you go to a master in Vienna to learn piano, they charge a lot of money. They'll ask, do you know anything? Have you learned anything? If you say no, they'll charge you, all right, these are the fees for your classes. If you say, I already learned something, they'll charge you double. If you know something already, they'll charge you double. Why? Because whatever you learned, if you didn't learn it from the proper master, then guaranteed you learned it all wrong. So to teach someone who already learned the wrong way is more difficult. If you already think, I know, but you know it all wrong, then it's more difficult to teach such a person. Because when you're supposed to do the right thing, they do the wrong thing. And they think they're doing the right thing, but it's all wrong. So like that, people who are brought up in Hindu families, those that get any training, they may have some piety. But usually, in 99% of the cases, whatever they've learned is all rubbish. Just like Sai Baba is God. He's a good man. He does good things. This is not only incorrect, it is completely in the opposite direction wrong. Because he's not a pious man, and anyone who follows him, they become sinful as he is sinful by the offense of considering him to be God when he's not. So, it seems to be the same thing, because in any Hindu system, they offer puja, they chant some bhajans, they go to a temple, they have some prasad. So if you say, well, for Sai Baba or for Durga or for Krishna. It's all more or less the same. It appears to be the same, but it's not. Because if it's directed towards Krishna, that is the proper direction. Everything should be offered to Krishna, understanding that He is the proper person to accept worship. Now the same thing, if you do puja, bhajans, offer some food, give prasad for Sai Baba, it may look to be the same, but the result is completely different, because that worship which is supposed to be offered to Krishna is being given to a cheater who is not authorized to accept that. And because you're thinking he's God, then you go to hell. Whereas doing the same thing for Krishna, you go to Vaikuntha. So it appears to be the same, and people think, well, I already know all these things. But actually, not only do they not know, but their intelligence is completely contaminated by the wrong idea that Sai Baba is God or some other stupid idea. So that's why it's best to come, essential, if you want to learn, you have to come with an open slate. That I don't know anything, just like Krishna to Arjuna. Arjuna.
We people what nowadays also, we people think about this outside life.
Yes.
So we should forget everything.
Arjuna, he told to Krishna, he started off thinking, yes, I know so many things. But he came to the point that he understood why Arjuna was able to understand Bhagavad-gita. Now, if you see people that study Bhagavad-gita for a whole lifetime, they won't understand. And Arjuna understood, just like that. Because from the beginning, his attitude was correct. Shishyastehang shadhimang tvang prapanna. He said, now I'm your disciple. I'm surrendered to you. I'm willing to accept what you say. Not that he just sat there. He asked questions. He asked Krishna to clarify the points. He applied his intelligence. Sometimes he said to Krishna that, well, it appears that you're saying one thing and you're saying something contradictory. So even that he said to Krishna. But his basic attitude, even though he said to Krishna, it seems to me that you're saying something contradictory. That comes up in Gita. But his basic attitude was that he accepts Krishna as the authority, which he is, because he is the supreme authority. He's the original guru of everybody. He knows everything. So Arjuna accepted that. Even he said, it seems to me there's some contradiction. But when he was saying that, he wasn't challenging Krishna. He was saying that, yeah, I think there's some contradiction. Therefore, I understand that I must be wrong. Will you please clarify that how I am misunderstanding? That was his attitude. Therefore, he was able to understand. So in the beginning, one should have some basic understanding that if I've been brought up to think that everything in Hinduism, it's all wonderful and it's all good and everything, then you can understand that how you've been brought up is all wrong. And if you maintain such an attitude, you won't be able to make spiritual advancement. Just like all the Hindus, they're not making any spiritual advancement. They're all smoking and drinking. They're all going towards the wrong path. Because they don't have the proper knowledge. Because they've been misled. People, whatever you like to do, it's all right. Smoking's also all right, drinking's also all right, what's wrong with that? Or you become a vegetarian and worship Sai Baba. This is all the influence of Kali Yuga. It has nothing to do with Bhagavad-gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why this Krishna conscious movement is different. It's a temple. There's so many temples and ashrams and spiritual organizations in India. But this is different. Because our aim is to understand and teach what is the actual truth. What is the actual essence of the Vedas? What is the actual reality? Whereas all these they're also doing puja and bhajan, but they're still under the cloud of Maya. Because those who are still in illusion. Because those who are going, they're going not with the sincere desire to serve God, but they're going, how I can get something for my own benefit. Even people going to Sai Baba, why are they going? Because they're thinking, Baba will bless me and my business will be very nice. They're not sincere to serve God. Because they're insincere, therefore Insincere means they're in illusion, they're in Maya. So Maya gives them the intelligence. You go to this Baba. And it's a cheating business. They want to be cheated, and the Baba says, you just come to me and I'll look after you. So they have the idea that Baba is looking after me and therefore I will be happy with my family, my wife, my children, my business will be good, my health will be good. But a real spiritualist, he doesn't teach you these things. He teaches you that all these things are illusory and temporary. Just like you see so many people, they go to a guru, please bless me that my business will prosper. Please bless me, my health will be good. Who is a real guru should tell them, I will bless you that your business, all health, all these things, you should understand all these things are temporary and useless. You cannot get any benefit from these things. Who is a real guru must teach you these things. Not that I bless you, your business will prosper. But he should tell you that material life is useless. That is a real guru. Guru means one who takes you out of ignorance. So if in the name of giving you some blessing, he says, yes, your health will be good. I saw once in Bangladesh, an old woman, maybe more than 90 years old. She came to some so-called guru. I was sitting next to him. And she said, oh, please bless me. I can't see properly anymore. So he said, never mind. God will look after you. And she went away happy, and she still can't see anything. So what rascal? She's 90 years old, that's God's mercy, she can't see, that's God's warning, you're going to die soon, because all the bodily functions are deranged. So you should now engage yourself seriously in the service of God. But he's saying it will be alright. It will never be alright. She'll never see again, she'll die in a few days. But they're just keeping people comfortably in Maya, but they have to die. So real Guru should teach you that you have to die. Be serious. Don't try and enjoy this material world because it is not a place of enjoyment. But people don't want to hear that. They want to be cheated. So there are so many cheaters. Who is speaking the truth, people won't like it. That Tulsidas says, Sach bole to mare lata, jhoot jagate mahai. If you speak the truth, people will beat you with sticks. And lies, the whole world is going on like that. So if you want the real thing, then you have to be prepared to accept it without your own ideas. You have to be prepared to take the guidance to understand what is the actual fact without making any compromise. That I love God, I'll worship God, and God will protect all my business interests and help me to enjoy a happy life with good health. That means we want to use God as our servant. I put 1 rupee in the box and then God has to bless me and so many things. The function of God, people think the function of religion is to make us feel comfortable in this material world. But the real function of a guru is to make the disciple feel uncomfortable. You should not be comfortable in this material world. If you feel comfortable in this material world, you're in a very dangerous position. Just like if you're going in a bus which is going towards the edge of a cliff, and if you think, I'll just adjust my seat and I'll recline very nicely and comfortably. And someone, he gives you advice how you can adjust your seat very comfortably. So, very nice. But in 2 minutes you're going to go off the edge of a cliff and die. Then what is the use of adjusting your seat? Rather, one who is actually in knowledge will teach you that this bus is going off the cliff. What you should do, you should change the course. Wake up the driver or get off the bus. But people don't want. They want to be cheated. So if we're serious not to be cheated, if we're serious to understand the absolute truth, if we're serious to understand God as He is, if we're serious to do good to human society by giving them real spiritual guidance, we have to take to Shastra as it is and follow it according to the proper standard without any personal motive. Selflessness. Selflessness means, sometimes people advertise, some welfare worker, great welfare worker, Just like Mother Teresa is advertised as a great welfare worker. But actually she hasn't helped anybody in any way. Her so-called help is all useless. Why? What does she do? So many people are sleeping on the street in Calcutta. When they're about to die, she has her workers go around. She finds people who are very old and sick. She brings them into her home and they spend the last few days in her home and they die in her home. So instead of they lived all their life on the street, then they die in her home. And if they start to get a little healthy by being in her home and they're not going to die, then she throws them out on the street again. So what is the value? Even if you build big hospitals, what is the value